Hello, this is Robert Cooper, and this is the third time I've tried to do this video. Something's always, phone rings, door knock, all kinds of things today. So it's official. I have a functional user interface to run my copyrighted browser download execution of any command on a Linux system, and it can be any Linux system. Now the files that I'm creating will work on a Debian system, generally work on any GNU that uses bash and app where it has the app commands for the updates. I'm not going to test it on Red Hat, and I'm sure someone will mod the files to work on Arch, but let me get into it. So about 6 months ago I found this program here. This is a JavaScript user interface that runs on the internet. Basically it's a web page powered by JavaScript, and it has a easy to customize API. It was created by Mr. Ritin Vagadia, who is from Dubai. Very professional. This guy knows what he's doing. Looks like he's been doing it for quite a while. Here's his website, his personal website. Looks like a nice guy. So he has this under MIT license, and to make it easier for me, I decided to do this and all my related software to this application and to my terminal program under MIT, not the GPL. And here's the reason why. For 6 years I tried to get someone, professional programmers, companies, to help me get this to this point. I struggled, and one morning I woke up, actually it was late night, I actually woke up from a dream. I wasn't dreaming about this, but dreaming about life. It dawned on me of what the actual restrictions are, that a browser cannot write to the server or your computer because it crosses their zone requirements or there's restrictions. So I thought to myself, well, if I could bypass that, it'd be a beautiful world, and I figured it out. And that's what I copyrighted, that you click a file on the internet or on your local computer in a browser. The browser then turns around and downloads the file, and I'll show you that. There's none here. If you watch over here, as I click this, say we go this one, it downloads that file. Inside that file is nothing special other than Google-Chrome. It's a code file for this script that's associated with actually Pixabay. All right, and if I run that's the download part. The last part is to run a bash script that actually when I hit that bash script, it'll pick that file up, it'll parse it, it will reconstruct it basically, and it will execute it instantly. So watch this. Boom, we're there. All right. Now, I can also do in that same interface right there, right? I like it, looks better that way. I can run an application on my computer, but this time I'm just going to click the, you see how it's still waiting? It's okay. I got that as execute. It's just a bash shell command, okay? And I'm going to click GIMP. There it is. Opens it right up. If it wasn't open, it'd be a little slower than that way. Now, there are terminals. I'm going to close this one, right? But there's a terminal open when I do, say, multiple ones, right? And if you click, say I ran 3 programs. I brought up in GIMP, I brought open 2 others. That bash script's running in the background. If you click bash script, it kills all 3 programs at one time. Can't do that with an icon on your computer. So now what we'll do, we're going to, I've downloaded the apt-get update file, and this is the code file, and that's the code. It sleeps for 2 seconds. That's just to see if it's an automatic mode. You'll see it here for 2 seconds. And then these stars here, it's the same thing as the space. The program is designed to take those out. And then the read statement puts, in some instances, you want to have the page stay active or sit there after it runs the command so you can see what it did. That's not the case like GIMP or a browser, but when you run the sudo command and running bash commands for most of the time, you'd like to have the page stay open. So that read statement there does that, right? So I'm going to close that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run that command by clicking my little execute down here, and it's going to pop up the screen. And in the screen, or the terminal actually, it tells me what it's doing. And that's the way I've set this up. It's going to sleep for 2 sudo apt-get update. Cool. That's what I wanted to see you do. Alright? So that's what I'm going to do. Nothing destructive. Now it's not foolproof. There's a way that people can get around that. There it is. Now, if that, a reason for keeping it open too is if that's a bigger command and longer, and it need to go, you could scroll back up. We have time to do that, right? Or you can do that and see the whole command. But as soon as I hit the page, any key actually, it's gone, right? Same thing that you can program to do that, right? But it's pretty much automatic once you get the file set. So let's look at the files. Here's the main file. This is the main program file, and it's got CSS styling at the top. It's got these files here. It takes 2 files. It takes a code file, and that's the name of it. It's located in the same directory as, and I can move that, but right now it's the same directory as the main script. And then it has a button name config file. Okay, so inside the button name, you have, there's the button name. That's let me get back to it. That's that one right there. That's the button name, right? And then under that, and the program knows to look for this here. If you don't put that in there, that program will be in your menu, and will not be listed here and here. Okay, it has to have that class. This is the categories. The system knows to put that name button under utilities, and that's where it is. I've also got it set up that it actually sorts the categories, and they're containerized with a border, right? Everything's in encompassed inside an actual template. It doesn't override, it doesn't repeat like some do. So I'm doing pretty good on that, right? So there's the name file, right? Well, here's the code file. Code file sleep to. Oh, we went over this already. Okay, so you need at least and these can be anything that you want to name them, right? And then and if they're located in, say, a scripts directory, I would just go like this, like that, and I can put all those files in the scripts directory, which makes sense. But for now, my testing, I'm just going to leave them right there. Okay. Now there is the download file. You can actually customize the actual download. You don't have to match what you have here. You can name this anything you want. But to execute it the way I have it with my script, under here, right? And that can be modified to execute. But you could have several of those icons to do different things, of course. But to execute those through that command there, the little shell script, it has to have that me2pc, right? Well, say I wanted to download a text file that I update a lot online, right? I get, say, one thing I want to do is create a system where people go online to a website, they pick videos they want to watch and go to different sites, and then they save it, and it automatically comes to them through email or some other fashion way, and then that could have a different extension. And as soon as they go in the interface here, like this, they would just they would click on, let's minimize this. They would click on a folder, and they'd run an icon, and it would bring up everything in one page that they want to view: videos, articles, websites, and so on. Right? But I'm not there. That's a lot of work. Main thing is just working on this thing here. So, fully customizable. It's all organized in the correct orders. It looks really nice. I would say this is still beta, but we're getting very close to a production release. Again, this program right here, all right, this user interface with my process that I have, you can run any command open on your Linux terminal, Linux computer. You can run open any application. You can open any website. Eventually, I'll have it set up where it will use a VPN and it will SSH into your network, and you can control your computer that way too. That is not hard to do. I say VPN because I have Starlink, which uses shared IPs, and it doesn't open ports, and the Starlink router doesn't open ports. So the easiest thing for me to do is just to use a VPN, and since I'm going to use it that way, I'll release this program with that option. And right now, that's probably a year away, maybe 8 months. Right now, I'm going to add more to this. Feel free to comment, good and bad, ask questions, ask for the source code. You can click, I'll put a link to my GitHub repository where it has some of the coding right now, and it talks about it. There's you can look at this here. Well, I can't get it from there, I guess. Let me do this. Let's see if it'll even open. Yeah, there it is. It has the license, but over here you can go under the browser terminal, and this file right here, well, it's a technical overview of exactly what the system does, right? Even though it says open, where does it say something about open? Well, there's something in here about says about open. It's not. The process is copyrighted. Going from, again, I'm going to say it one more time, going from, let me find this file again. Where are we? Okay. Going from a click on the internet, right, which is basically this right here, right there, okay, open downloads, okay, this click to that download to this execution, all right, right there is copyrighted, all right. Normally I would release this process on GPL, but for 6 years no one would help me. Everyone just, they thought what they wanted to think. Professional people, I offered them to pay them money, and as soon as I told them what I wanted to do, sorry, they didn't even respond. They just totally blew me off. I guess maybe they thought I was crazy, but I'm not crazy. This system would be so easy for Linux newbies to use before they graduate into understanding Linux and the different things you have to do in the terminal to maintain Linux, that a 10-year-old child can build a basic web page. This is nothing but a web page, right? If you look at the source, that's what it is. It's an HTML page. Look right there, okay, right there, HTML. I can do it. Come on. Oh well, I'm losing it. There, it won't do it. Wow. So you have the styling CSS, which can be put into a separate file, of course. Yeah, you have the div containers for the categories for styling. Has an image source, has table, has some identifiers for the JavaScript, and then it has JavaScript, right? This is server-side Java. Some of it's server-side, not all of it, some of it is. So you have to have to use it locally. I think I said it before, you have to have Apache web server running. But I will make sure that that's all working before I release it as a production. So I hope you think this is cool, because I know it is personally. I just think that this is the newest thing down the block. It's not as good as Butter, but so the MIT license applies to all non-schema coding. Actually, if you can use the schema coding, as long as you just understand that that's copyright protected. You can't use that in your own process without my permission. You can use all the coding for non-commercial purposes, but you have to give me under the MIT license. You have to give me common creative how should I say this? I can't even remember how. I'm tired. You have to give me credit for the code, and then you have to include the license and the copyright notice and the MIT license with your code. Now, if you only used a non-substantial part of this, of the design, like the CSS and the terminal program, the another thing that was copyrighted under the Schema is the me2pc terminal template, which has a drag and drop bash script function where you can drag and type in bash commands, or drag script files in, text files, and then do the same execution of downloading and executing. That's under the process scheme. But the design structure of this program and the me2pc HTML terminal are fall under the MIT license. I hope that's clear enough. Sure, it's kind of confusing, but I hope it is. So if you have any questions about anything at all, comment here. Go to my GitHub and open an issue, and we'll go through that way. Or you can contact me at robert@offternet.com. That's Robert at OFFTERNET.com. Instead of internet, it's Ofternet. Have a great day. Like, share. Thank you.